And that is the much we can take for now. The other teacher that has something to chip in? All right, in the absence of that, take my bow. Thank you, students.
Thank you, Mr.
Good morning, wonderful students.
Good morning, wonderful students.
Good morning, excellent students.
Good morning, excellent.
How do you do this morning?
It is well with my soul.
How do you do this morning? SS1.
Well with my soul.
You know, we are still in revision assembly. We started by talking about potentiometer. We have explained what a potentiometer is. Can you all tell me what a potentiometer is?
A potentiometer is a great terminal resistor.
Can you repeat after me? A potentiometer is a three-terminal resistor.
A potentiometer is a three-terminal resistor.
Again.
A potentiometer is a three-terminal resistor.
Again.
A potentiometer is a three-terminal resistor.
With a sliding or rotating.
With a sliding or rotating.
With a sliding or rotating contact.
With a sliding or rotating contact.
Again.
With a sliding or rotating contact.
From beginning to that point.
A potentiometer is a three-terminal.
I can hear from SS2
With a
down to
sliding or
SS2.
rotating contact.
All of you from juniors and junior secondary, keep quiet. Potentiometer, all of you from in SS1 and SS2. Everybody from that point to the end, to the other points. The potentiometer
is a three-terminal resistor. With a sliding or rotating contact.
again.
The potentiometer is a three-terminal resistor. With a sliding or rotating contact.
That forms an adjustable voltage divider. That forms an adjustable voltage divider. From beginning to the end.
The potentiometer is a three-terminal resistor. With a sliding or rotating contact. That forms an adjustable voltage divider.
And I gave you examples of the applications or where you can see the use of a potentiometer. I mentioned your fan switch. I mentioned your volume knob of your radio set or television set. All of you press record, don't download it on there. That boy, what's your name? Be careful. I mentioned your radio knob volume or television knob that it can be applied on some switches that has some bulb that has switch that makes it your light to be dim, deep, and what? So bright. It is application of what? Potentiometer. From there, we entered. Before I go to the next one, define potentiometer, everybody.
Potentiometer is a three-terminal resistor with a sliding or rotating contact that forms an adjustable voltage divider.
From there, we entered capacitor. Entered what?
Capacitor.
Can you tell me what I told you about capacitor? What is the main function of a capacitor? Okay, a capacitor is an electrical device. Can I hear you say it?
A capacitor is an electrical device.
Again.
A capacitor is an electrical device.
Which stores an electrical charge.
Which stores an electrical charge.
Which stores electrical charge.
Which stores electrical charge.
Which stores electrical charge.
Which stores electrical charge.
From beginning to the end.
A capacitor is an electrical device. Which stores electrical charge.
Again.
A capacitor is an electrical device. Which stores electrical charge.
Again.
A capacitor is an electrical device. Which stores electrical charge.
And I told you that a capacitor doesn't only store an electrical charge, but it stores charges of different. It stores different charges, that's negative charges and what?
Positive charge.
Because a capacitor is made up of what? Two parallel what? Plates. Two what?
Parallel plates.
Two parallel what? Plates. One for storage of negative charge and one for storage of what? Positive charge. Again, can I hear you define a capacitor?
A capacitor is an electrical device which has electrical charge.
Define a potentiometer. Ekusamba kneel down there.
Terminal resistor.
Ekusamba kneel down there.
Voltage divider.
Again.
A potentiometer is a three-terminal resistor with a sliding or rotating contact that forms an adjustable voltage divider.
Define a capacitor.
A capacitor is an electrical device that stores electrical charge.
Which stores what?
Electrical charge.
And I said that it doesn't store only one charge, but negative and positive what?
Charge.
And I said a capacitor has how many plates?
2 plates.
How many plates?
2 plates.
2,
Plates.
2,
Plates.
2.
Plates.
And the capacitance of the capacitor is dependent on this distance between the what? The two plates, the two parallel plates. They are not just plates. They are what? Parallel what? Plates. What do we mean by parallel plates? They have equal distance apart. They have what?
Equal distance
So
apart.
the closer you bring the plates, the more capacitance of that capacitor it will do what? Have. Do you understand?
Yes.
The more charge it will do what? Stop. Do you understand?
Yes.
Can I hear you define a capacitor once again?
A capacitor is an electrical device.
And the SI unit of a capacitance of a capacitor is farad. Is what? Farad. Is what? Farad. Is what? Farad. Is what? Farad. From there we entered a transistor. What a transistor is? I thought you know it. I'm not sure you want to see. Define a transistor, everybody.
A transistor is a semiconductor device that has electrical signals and power.
A transistor, everybody, is a semiconductor device.
A transistor is a semiconductor device
Used to increase or amplify. Can I hear you say it?
A transistor is a semiconductor device used to increase or amplify.
Again.
A transistor is a semiconductor device used to increase or amplify.
Electrical signal.
Electrical signals.
Electrical signal.
Electrical signals.
And power.
And power.
Can I hear you say it?
Transistor is a semiconductor device used to increase and amplify electrical signals and power.
Can I hear you say it, everybody?
A transistor is a semiconductor device used to increase and amplify electrical signals and power.
Can you say it in unison?
A transistor is a semiconductor device used to increase and amplify electrical signals and power.
You are too fast. Can you say it in unison? A transistor can serve as a switch. It can serve as a what? It can serve as a what? In electrical circuits, electrical devices. But it's not what we're going to talk about now. We know that it can serve as a what? A switch. It can serve as a what? A switch. From there, I also talked about the uses of a capacitor. The use of a what? Capacitor. I skipped it. Now, one of the uses of a capacitor, I said, the major reason is what? The storage of what? Charge. The storage of what? Charge. The storage of what? Charge. And I also say that it is used in tuning of radio or television stations. Television what? Stations. Television what? Stations. One use is what? One use of a capacitor is? Again. Number 2, filtering of frequency signals. Can I hear you say it?
Filtering of frequency signals.
Again.
Filtering of frequency signals.
Again.
Filtering of frequency signals.
Number 3, for tuning of radio. For tuning of radio stations.
For tuning of radio stations.
Or television stations.
Or television stations.
Number 1, use of capacitor. Number 1, use of a capacitor. Number 2, filtering of what? Filtering of what? Filtering of frequency. Filtering of. Filtering of. Area money than there. Filtering of. And number 3. Tuning of what? And television. Before we proceed, define a potentiometer. Define a capacitor.
A capacitor is an electrical device.
Stop rushing. We are not rushing to anywhere. We are still in rap here. Can you define it again? And I told you that a capacitor can store how many charges? Negative and what? And how many plates does the capacitor have? 2. If you say 2 plates, I'll fail you. If you are writing my exam, I will do what? Fail you. Because without parallel plate must be mentioned. Is that clear?
Yes.
Is that clear?
Yes.
And the SI unit of a capacitor, capacitance of a capacitor is?
Farad.
Is what?
Farad.
Is what? Farad. Is what?
Farad.
Is what?
Farad.
Okay. From there we're going to talk about potential energy. Can you define a potential energy? You down there, elder. You down there. Some of you, example that boy, what's their name? Monachi. Define a potential energy.
Potential energy is the energy possessed by a body.
By virtue of its position or motion. By virtue of its what?
Position or configuration.
Define potential energy.
Potential energy is the energy possessed by a body.
Or configuration. And I gave you some types of a potential energy. One type of potential energy I gave you is?
Gravitational potential energy.
2.
Elastic potential energy.
3.
Electrical potential energy.
I want to correct something that happened here this morning. The student came here to say we have types of potential energy. She mentioned mechanical potential energy. My dear, we don't have what? Mechanical potential energy. We don't have what?
Mechanical potential energy.
Rather, we have mechanical energy. Under mechanical energy, we don't have potential energy and what?
Kinetic energy.
Is that corrected?
Yes.
Is that corrected?
Yes.
Then define gravitational potential energy.
Gravitational potential energy is the energy possessed by a body above the ground or a reference plane.
As you are on the ground, do you have a potential energy?
Yes.
As you are on the ground, do you have a potential energy?
No.
Huh? Yes. Why did you say no? You, dog. Why did you say no? I define gravitational potential energy again.
Gravitational potential energy is the energy possessed by a body above the ground or a reference
Then
plane.
I ask my question again. Do you possess potential energy as you are standing on this podium here?
Yes.
Your answer is very, very wrong. Capital wrong. You just said now gravitational potential energy is the energy possessed by a body above the world. Is your feet above the ground?
No.
Where is it? So your potential energy is equal to zero. Equal to
Zero.
equal to
Zero.
So you don't have potential
Energy.
Define elastic potential energy.
Elastic potential energy is the energy possessed by a body
is the energy possessed by a body by virtue of its compression or extension. And I gave you example of what? Elastic potential energy. By your rubber band stretch or your, what they call it, catapult. When you stretch the band of your what? Catapult, or your bow and what? Arrow. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
I also mentioned, I use the example of vehicle springs. Both the leaf spring and what? The coil what? Spring. As an examples of elastic potential energy when they are compressed. Do you understand? Yes. I also use an example when a vehicle jumps into a what? A pothole, not a gallop. I made a mistake that day. Jump into a what? A pothole, and your head sees the what? The roof of the what? The vehicle. Why? Because the spring has gained what? Potential, elastic potential energy. Can you define elastic potential energy, everybody?
Elastic potential energy is the energy possessed by a body.
And I told you about, I mentioned about elastic limit. And I told you that elastic limit is the point which an elastic body cannot do what? Cannot return to its, if it goes beyond that stage, it cannot return to its what? Original size or shape again. Is that clear?
Yes.
Is that clear?
Yes.
And any material that can do what? Elast, we say that that material is called what? An elastic material. An elastic what?
Material.
Thank you and have a great day.
Strengthen your life. Strengthen your life. Hands up. Hands up. Down. Up. I said hands